So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Dom Mafia live at 11 a.m. EST and 5:15 p.m. EST each and every single weekday. And as promised, I had to bring on a Broncos creator, and I couldn't think of a better representative, obviously, than Brandon Perna from That's Good Sports. Perna, how's life, man?
Good. How have you been, Dan?
Oh man, I've been living the dream. I really, really have. And it's funny because you and I were on this channel pre-draft. I want to say that Bo Nix was your guy, even going into the draft process, that was the
Yeah.
quarterback that you were hoping that the Denver Broncos were going to end up nabbing. But I have to ask you, because I'm sure outside of Broncos country, I feel like Denver exceeded expectations. Or maybe y'all were confident walking into it in the first place. Like,
No.
if I were to tell you, Perna, like y'all are about to go 10-7, like wipe the floor with the Chiefs backups and sneak into the playoffs as the 7th seed, would you have believed me?
I mean, I'll believe anything. I'm pretty gullible. So, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Dan, I would have. I think I thought like 9 wins would be great. 9 wins and making the playoffs would have been heaven. 9 wins and missing the playoffs, but we were like, Bo Nix is our guy, is kind of where I thought the Broncos could end up. And now that you can't be a 500 team, I was thinking around 500 optimistically. I was like, there's probably going to be a lot of growing pains this season. Feel like the defense might take a step back. I think I was wrong about that. The defense has been awesome this year. It's kept them in a lot of games. It's allowed us to kind of grow with Bo Nix. And getting into the playoffs, even if your Bills have their way with us, we are fine with that. We're totally fine with it.
It's a celebration in and of itself.
Yeah.
No,
I think
go ahead.
I think the difference between like Broncos fans and like maybe the outside perspective is most Broncos fans were very happy to get Bo Nix. Whereas like the narrative was, oh, this is a team settling for, the 6th quarterback. Is that even a guy you should take in the first round? And we're like, can I cuss on here? Do you cuss?
Of course. Yeah.
We're like, motherfuckers, we need a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
Why would this be a bad move for us? Like, if it doesn't work out, it's a lot better than trading for Russell Wilson and paying an insane amount of money. So we were happy to even go down burning with Bo Nix.
Yeah.
He is our guy, which Bills fans know. It's a lot more fun when like your guy plays well and you can be like, yeah, we wanted him. We did.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. And I have to go out and just throw myself out there and shame myself.
Sure.
I was not a fan of Bo Nix at all. Like in the college process, I thought that he was very largely like captain check down.
Yeah.
And I thought that like he would need the perfect system. But for some reason, I must have been
he got
looking
the perfect
at Sean.
system for him.
He did. Yeah, for sure. Like right now, like that's like actually one of the biggest things I'm looking for on Sunday, because we're talking about the #1 defensive line in sacks, pass pressure. But then we're also going up against, right?
Yeah.
So the least sack QB in the NFL by itself. So like I'm fascinated to see like who wins that trenches battle. But Bo has been getting it done. Like I think I just had a bad taste in my mouth from watching that Russell Wilson experiment, like with Sean Payton. And I was just like, oh, I wonder if Payton maybe has lost a step because he can't do like this with Russell Wilson. How am I supposed to expect he's going to do it with Bo Nix? And he has.
Yeah. I believe like Sean Payton is a good head coach.
Yeah.
I also understood him and Russ were probably never the right fit, but that didn't mean I didn't have questions about like what can Sean Payton actually do, even with the rookie? Like where is he at? And I think finding and getting his guy and a guy who's committed to learning Sean's system and probably running it a lot more closely to the way Sean wanted to versus like what Russ is actually capable of. Like that's a huge difference. And like I think just in the locker room in Denver, like guys gravitate towards Bo Nix. I think he's impressed a lot of the veterans as a rookie. And if you can do that, like that is a huge part of the battle. And I think the first thing Russ did when he got here was like put himself in a different stratosphere from the other players, right?
Yeah.
His own office, all that BS, like that got blown out of proportion. But I think there's something to like a guy coming in, earning the respect of veteran teammates, and them getting into the playoff. Like Garrett Bowles and Cortland Sutton, this is their first playoff appearance, and they're the longest tenured Broncos. So like I think all that stuff goes a long way. And what happens, this weekend, I don't care. I am interested in the matchup you mentioned, though, because like
the trenches, man.
14 sacks for Josh Allen is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane for your offensive line. It's insane for the style of football he plays. And it's an insane thing to try and defend. And I think it will be a problem for our defense. Like we've been great at getting to the quarterback, but you can get to Josh and he's still gonna get away from you.
Yeah. No, yeah, most definitely, man. Like that's gonna be key. And I'm actually curious because, this Denver Broncos defense has been the highlight, I would say. PS2 is going to be Defensive Player of the Year. Like, just send him the award right now.
I agree.
They'll have Nick Bonito, who's been an absolute stud, solid defensive line, like I said. But I think what Bills fans kind of want to know, and especially since, like, you are or followed the Broncos religiously.
Yes.
Who are, like, some mismatches out there that regularly piss you off, that you're looking at this matchup and you're like, okay, that guy's going to fuck us over? I've been looking specifically at like your inside linebackers, like in pass coverage. That's really one of the only things that's like standing out to me. Like what's like a weakness that y'all have that's sort of making you sweat, like on the defensive side of the ball?
I mean, inside linebackers, it's fair. I would say Cody Barton has done probably a much better job than people thought he would do this season. Justin Strnad's had some really nice games, but also has had some issues. And I think it is mismatches of tight ends or running backs getting matched up on those guys.
Okay.
But like our big problem was Levi Wallace filling in for Riley Moss in prime time against the Cleveland Browns. And we just got torched. And then Riley Moss came back and he had a rough game against T. Higgins. So, last week the whole defense played well against the Chiefs scrubs. So it's hard to gauge, right?
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see like how Riley Moss holds up, I think, in coverage this week. And the Bills are weird because like you guys, it's probably Khalil Shakir, but there's not like a number one receiver in your game. It can be any different guy on any different week. And I think that's what makes your offense really good.
Yeah.
But normally you put Surtain just on the number one receiver, have him run with that guy as much as possible, or one side of the field. It's like, how's Riley going to match up if he's on Shakir or Cooper or Dalton Kincaid? You know what I mean? Like it's or Keon Coleman. Like so, I think that's kind of what I want to see. And Moss has played great football all season. Then he got hurt. And since he's come back from injury, we haven't had like a game where I'm like, oh yeah, he's back. So that would be the defensive mismatch I'm kind of looking at.
Yeah. It's funny because like when it comes to PS2, I was terrified that Amari Cooper was not going to be active because he had like some like family emergency and like he missed like 1 or 2 days of practice. And I was just like, we need Amari Cooper out there for a distraction for PS2.
Sure.
Because if not, then that completely flips over the entire game plan that this offense has.
Yeah.
Because I know that, like, as much as I love what James Cook was able to do this year, like, y'all bottle up the run like no one's business. So, that with Bonito being the spy and, like, y'all do a great job at preventing quarterbacks from rolling out right in the first place, I don't really see us, like, having a lot of success on the ground, which sucks because, like, that's largely been a part, like, of our identity. Like, we haven't had a run game since the Obama administration. So it's nice to finally, like, see that, you know?
Yeah. And it's like, it's crazy too because James Cook's like stats aren't that much in terms of like yards that much crazier than the year before, but like I feel like his impact when he's running is so much better this season for the Bills than it was a year ago.
It's nice.
And is Allen, is rolling right like a play that happens a lot with Josh Allen for you guys? Because it is with Bo Nix. It is like they roll him out right so much.
Yeah. I'd say it was definitely more of a thing in the past. But this year, with how the offensive line has been playing, like he's finally been like having a running back to rely on. And he's also been relying on like a few wide receivers being able to create that separation early. And there's been a couple of crazy plays where we've seen him like roll left and like make like a wild throw, but that's less than ideal. Him being able to extend plays is obviously key, and rolling right will do that. And I think with this supporting cast we have already, I think it's going to be important, especially since y'all run a lot of man.
Yeah.
So if you guys can get that pressure and can prevent him from rolling out right, it's going to be difficult, I think, for our wide receivers to outrun your DBs in man coverage. So that's why I think a lot of Bills fans are kind of nervous about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Josh is just so good. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Like, in our defensive line is really everything kind of goes through Zach Allen. Like, he's just been a monster on our defensive line. Mm-hmm. So, but the Bills' offensive line's been really good this season, and I feel like one of the Broncos' least productive games from their defensive front was against the Chargers, and it's because our offensive line in the second game kind of like negated what we had been doing so well with Allen, with Benito, and then Jonathan Cooper on the other side. But so like if you're, I think your offensive line has a chance to like prove like, hey, no, this year isn't just, an anomaly. Like it hasn't been just like a few elite games of us doing very well in pass pro. Like we can shut down the best pass pass rush in the NFL. I mean, we've got the most sacks. So I'm just going to say we have the best pass rush in the NFL. If you shut us down, you shut the Chiefs down, shut the Ravens down, and then you guys can go get your Super Bowl. I swear to God, if we lose and then you guys lose to the Ravens and then the Ravens lose to the Chiefs, I don't know who I'm going to be more mad at, the Bills or the Ravens at that point. But
I mean, honestly, man, I feel like that there's been like a brewing rivalry right between Ravens and Bills fans this year, but I think that we could all kind of come to like this agreement. Whoever ends up going the furthest and ultimately go to Arrowhead, I think all of us need to join forces because a three-peat is the last thing this league needs.
Mm-hmm.
It really does.
I agree.
The Chiefs have pulled off like one of the most impossible things I think I've ever seen, where they have won the ugliest games all year.
Yeah.
They just fall ass backwards into a 2-loss season where offense hasn't been doing anything. I think they scored 30 points like once, but I don't know, man. I can't have it happen, especially you as an AFC West divisional rival. It's probably been driving you nuts for the past 2 years.
Yeah. This year, it was really annoying because of the way the Broncos lost to the Chiefs.
That block field goal, man.
That was the biggest BS moment I've had to endure because we had it. And Bo Nix and the offense got into scoring range to win that game. Yeah. Right? Like they did what they needed to do. And then the Chiefs made a good play. It wasn't like a fluke. They made a play. And I think that's what's annoying about Kansas City is so many of these games are close and then they make plays. And then they also get the weird luck plays too. But I feel like it's the Bills' year. I feel like we were high on Buffalo before the season, and it was because of what the Chiefs did the year before. You guys let Diggs go, and everybody's like, "This is horrible. Their offense is going to suck." And like, well, we saw the Chiefs' offense function at a different level, and I think the Bills have more talent than Kansas City at the receiving position. Well, and then the Chiefs were starting to get injuries too with Hollywood and then Rice, but it's like Josh gonna be free to spread the ball around, and that's proven to be a good thing. So
Yeah.
that coupled with your offensive line play, with the defense playing pretty good, you guys got Milano back at the end of the season versus losing him to an injury again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, what's the expectations for your offense against this Bills defense, right? Like, you look at this Bills defense, and like, we couldn't stop a fucking nosebleed when it came into running backs. But what saved our ass was that like we could generate a turnover from
Sure.
time to time. Is there anything that you're hoping that the Broncos can exploit from the Bills' defensive side of the football? I know you guys haven't had a 100-yard running back in quite some time.
Yeah.
But if there's any
Latavius
team,
Murray, baby.
it's Latavius Murray, baby. Last time, man. Hey, listen, he rushed for 100 right over in Denver, played a full season with Buffalo.
Yeah.
And who knows where he is right now, man.
Yeah.
He's out there living the dream. That's what I'm talking about. He'll probably show up in some practice squad here in about a week.
And rush for 100 yards for a different team.
Oh, yeah. Just to spite. But if there's any game and there's any defense in this playoffs right now, Perna, that you could break that streak, it would be against the Buffalo Bills run defense. So
okay.
What are you hoping to exploit, or are there any concerns like walking into this game?
I would say from the Broncos end, it's Sean Payton has a really tough time committing to the run, even when it's working, and staying consistent with it. And I have a theory that he just had so much success with Drew Brees and the short passing game being an extension of the run that he forgets like he has a rookie quarterback. And my thought is like, if the first running play on a drive doesn't work, then he doesn't want to fucking run it ever again for that drive. He's just like, nope.
Yeah.
12 more passes, no matter what happens. So that's the issue. Also, it's like we rotate between backs. We have Jaleel McLaughlin, Javonte Williams, and Audric Estime. And they've all had nice games, but I think the guy to lean on is Jaleel McLaughlin. He provides like the biggest like kind of home run threat. Feels like he has the best vision most consistently. So I think like if they have success, if there is a 100-yard rusher, it's Jaleel McLaughlin. I just don't know, even if the running game's going well, if Sean sticks to it. Because if you remember, there's a game where, and he got mad about it, it said run it at the top of his play sheet, run the ball, like, and they zoomed in on it on the broadcast. And I was like, recapping that game, he's like, he forgot to look at the top of his play sheet because he just stopped running the ball. So that's my fear.
Yeah. No, man. Like, I like look at like what it is, and like I feel actually very confident against the offense. Like, no disrespect, obviously, but Bo Nix still is a rookie QB. And I did put my parlay together, and I did take the over like on interceptions for Bo Nix. I do think that he's probably due like for some sort of turnover. Sorry, Perna. Sorry, Perna. Right. You know what I mean? But so I have that, and then it's going to be interesting with some of the matchups because so Rasul Douglas has had a couple of stinkers, right? Like so far this year. So whether or not whoever is matched up against him, maybe they do it. But like this Buffalo Bills team likes to pick their poison and like really almost just go out ahead and just like let a team do one specific aspect, and largely to our detriment. Thank God that like we have a solid turnover differential, because I'm not sure that this is really a defensive scheme that's successful that could actually go the full way. I'm hoping that it is, but I just hope y'all don't come back and burn us. Like whether or not that it's through the run game or whether or not that that even Bo Nix with his best impression of Josh Allen out there, like throwing them rush yards up. So it's
no, Nix, his ability to make plays with his legs was, and I knew he could do it, but you never know like how it translates to the NFL. But that's been a nice part of his game. And he doesn't, I don't think he wants to lean on that. And I think he should do it more, you know, when he sees an opportunity there. I also took the higher on his longest run being over 11.5 yards. So I need at least one good Bo Nix run. In this game.
Nah, dude, go ahead and take that. So tell us, is the curse wheel still a thing for the playoffs?
We'll see. It picked the Vikings this week.
So
we'll see. Pick the Vikings.
I have the Rams going out there, man. It's something about that Vikings team when they can only put up 9 points against the defense that has everybody and their mother. Like, we're literally having open tryouts in the parking lot to play for the Detroit Lions defense prior to that game. 9 points. I feel like I have the Rams, like, really on top of that one. Upset of the week, though, and maybe it's just me trying to manifest, and maybe it's because Ravens fans have been trolling me for the past 24 hours.
Oh, you want that Steelers upset?
I don't know, man. I feel it. I feel it deep. That for some reason, Zay Flowers not being out there is going to completely change the scope. I don't think TJ Watt was at 100% the last time they faced each other. It's a divisional opponent. Mike Tomlin has a winning record in Baltimore when Lamar was like the QB. I just have a feeling that it's a giant, giant trap for this one. I really do.
Yeah. Grossi I think he feels the same way.
Interesting.
I'm on the side of, I think the Steelers are playing terrible football right now.
Oh,
and I don't think it's going to change in a week.
Bad. Yeah.
I really feel like we're getting a Ravens-Bills game in the divisional, and I think it's going to be the most interesting game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Chargers will get the Chiefs, and I think that game, that might actually be an upset.
I would love that.
And then
that's so clearly manifestation from us and not genuine.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping for it.
Bills Chargers, that'd be a fun game. Ravens Chargers
in the AFC Championship, I would take it.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, man, like it's year after year after year. Like, I feel like that I have like that same confidence level going into the playoffs. Yeah. And I think that it largely has to do with like key coaching decisions, like time management, a time management gap, or a special teams blunder, for example. Like, we have a kick returner. So our kick returner is listed as questionable on Sunday. And there's always going to be some sort of special teams gaffe in the playoffs. It just happens. And I'm like, I swear to God, if we roll out like KJ Hamler, like out there against Denver, and like he fumbles it, like great, like what? Yeah,
former
like,
Bronco KJ Hamler. Yes.
Yeah, former KJ. You know, just elevate him right up to the like active roster at the end of the day. But it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. I'm sure you saw those All-Pro nominations, and there's been like an absolutely heated debate, like about who's the MVP, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. Where is your head on this? Entirely objective opinion. Like, obviously, I'm going to pick Josh Allen because I just feel that he's done more with a guy that was voted the most overrated in the league, and they all had us for dead because we had a bunch of nobodies as wide receivers. But then, you know, of course, Lamar went out there and balled. I mean, I'm not trying to say that he shouldn't be in the conversation, but like, what was your thoughts when he was nodded that first team All-Pro today?
I kind of agree. Yeah. I think like Lamar's had the better statistical year, right? Yeah. And if you want to make the MVP just about like which quarterback put up the best stats, you can't really argue Lamar. Outside of what Josh is just over him on like rushing touchdowns. And Josh Allen always has like just a quiet 20 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like, he only has 32 passing touchdowns. Like, yeah, but there's like 32 rushing touchdowns as well. And 4 of them, he hurdled over somebody to get into the end zone.
Yeah.
So I think, like, I look at the MVP as, like, if you took Josh Allen off the Bills, how much worse would they be? And I think it is a lot worse.
Oh, yeah.
Versus compared to Lamar. And it's not to say that, Lamar's not worthy of the MVP, because right now you got Saquon should be in that conversation, and it felt like he was, but now it's just between Allen and Lamar. Whoever wins it, I think has earned it this year. Like, Lamar's done enough to earn it, and Josh has done enough to earn it. Some people believe Lamar shouldn't get it because, he got it last year. That's fine. Yeah. But I also think like Lamar got the biggest upgrade with Derrick Henry joining the Ravens this season.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
I think like that's helped not just like Lamar, but their entire offense. I think he is such a problem for defenses that it makes Lamar's job easier in the passing game.
Yeah.
But who cares who actually wins MVP? One of those guys needs to get to a Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, and that's going to change the conversation around both those quarterbacks because they're so similar in that they're two of the most insane talents to watch, and they don't get the same amount of credit as Mahomes just because they haven't, gotten to the Super Bowl and won it yet. And I guess that there's a little bit of that. That's fair, but it's also so fucking dumb. It's so dumb. I just want one of those guys to win. So you'd be like, oh yeah, they're as good as Mahomes too. See, they got the stupid ring.
Yeah. See, I'm kind of hoping that like acts as bulletin board material because like they only had like one guy make either of the all-pro teams. And I'm kind of like holding on to hope because last year when that article, like that hit piece went out on Sean McDermott, like was right when we were 6-6, and then we fired off 5 straight wins. So I'm kind of hoping that sort of just lights a fire under their ass, and we see Josh go out there and put up 75 on Sunday or something,
Yeah.
But
I'll write a hit piece saying Sean McDermott is now using drug cartels as inspirational.
Surprisingly enough, I think that would be believable. Yeah. I mean, I think that would be believable at this point.
You know who gets the job done? The Sinaloa cartel.
Yeah. So the Sinaloa cartel visits Bill's practice facility for inspirational speech or something like that, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I think hell.
My favorite thing this season was just a few weeks ago when McDermott said, I was going to make a plane reference, but I don't think I will.
It's cool because he's owning it, right?
Yeah, no, I love it.
He's owning it at that point.
I
like
love
when something like that, like bad comes out, like let it fizzle out a little bit, but then joke about it like a year later. So people are like, all right,
Sean, you're all right.
Yeah.
I think it's an important postseason for McDermott too. I think he's a really good head coach, but there's just this question of like, is he the guy to actually get him all the way?
So the thing is that if Sean McDermott gets bounced in the divisional or say the wild card, trust me, everybody and their mother in Western New York is going to be starting protest lines outside the stadium. But from what I've heard and from what I've seen, I feel like this ownership sort of looks at Sean McDermott the same way that Pittsburgh looks at Mike Tomlin. Like minus the Super Bowl, obviously, which would be nice. Like that's like a solid insurance policy for him as well. But it's tough, man. Like that's why like when like people talk like, oh yeah, like you've done all this and you haven't won it. And I'm like, dude, like how many teams have won the Super Bowl in the past 10 years? Like 3. Yeah. It's the Patriots.
I think he's a good head coach.
Rams.
Yeah. Stick with him.
Yeah, most definitely. It's just, first off, I pray that no game goes into overtime. And then I pray that like we don't give a team more than 13 seconds in any category to come back and tie the ball game and or win it at the end. But I mean, we'll see.
If you give the Chiefs, what if it's 12? What if they have 12 seconds?
Dude.
And they win again. That would be the worst thing that could happen to the Bills. The Chiefs win in 12 seconds.
Yeah.
Like somehow they got even better.
11. Following year they do it in 11.
Yeah.
Right? Like it would just be an absolute horror story. I would have to go on some sort of like darkness retreat for a couple of weeks.
You'd embrace it.
And like reestablish the whole 9. But yeah, man, like I said, I just wanted to bring you on here for a little bit to sort of chop it up. But last thing I'm gonna ask, final score prediction. Give me a hot take. Bills, Denver Broncos. What do you got?
You want a hot take?
Hot take, man.
I mean, I'd just be like, Broncos win 30-17.
Yeah, well, I suppose that'd be hot for sure. That'd be real hot.
I think the Bills are going to win. I think the Broncos are going to play it close, though. And I'm trying to remember what I predicted for my score the other day so I can stay consistent. I think I said like 24-20. Bills win it. Thanks, Cody. That's all I need. Maybe we'll go even. We'll say like let's just go 30-27 Bills. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. I think the Broncos will get some sort of defensive turnover or touchdown.
Yeah.
That's been something like that's really kept the Broncos in a lot of games. And, that Colts game, it was Nick Bonito getting that pick six that kind of changed everything. So one of those plays, but ultimately, Josh Allen have the ball in his hands into the game. He'll lead them down there to get the win. And you guys will thank us for helping build your confidence heading into the next round.
Yeah. And hopefully it would be the LA Chargers walking into the right into the divisional round. But it sounds like you're describing a relatively stressful game.
Yeah.
And I actually made an investment while watching games because obviously I'm very passionate and something's pissed me off, whether or not that it's the refs, my team, or the team that we're playing, or somebody in the live chat. So I actually made an investment on this bad boy right over here. All right.
Yes.
And I just beat the shit out of them if, for example, that I'm feeling some type of way.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
That's the investment I've ever made, quite frankly.
That is smart.
Yeah.
I wish I would have thought of that.
Hey, man, listen, some Dick Sporting good action.
Yeah.
It's a tax write-off. It's going to be funny how I explain that to my accountant, why that's a tax write-off. But
yeah. No, it is. It's like, yeah.
It's studio equipment.
It is. 100%.
It's studio equipment, one of the two. But Perna, I sincerely appreciate you taking a little bit of time to talk to us over here. What do you have going on for the rest of the week?
Tomorrow, Grossi and I are going to stream the Ravens Steelers game, and then I'll be streaming Bills game and get a video up after that, whatever happens in that game. I just hope I hope the Broncos are competitive no matter what.
Yeah.
The only way I'll be a little disappointed if they just get kind of, worked. So.
And so your days must be wild. As far as your pre-records, so much editing goes into that. One piece of content must take you no less than 10 hours, or have it you mastered a speedway on Adobe Premiere Pro.
No, I edit as fast as you can. I think. Okay. I think they're the Guinness records, fastest editor in the world is Brandon Perna. So I do it as fast as you can for the Broncos recaps, but winners and losers, I have Johnny Barks helps edit those.
Okay.
So we tag team that. I have Will Keys who helps me write. Without those guys, I couldn't do the amount of videos that we get up. And I just posted a video today about picking your playoff bandwagon team. I shot that yesterday, got it over to Johnny Barks yesterday evening. He got it, 80% edited. Then I finished the last 20% this morning and got it uploaded. So it's a team effort. It's just it's just relentless because you can't get ahead during the season.
No, man. I totally understand. I've made a transition fully to live streams.
Yeah.
Fully to live streams and shorts or whatnot, especially since TikTok is gone, bro. TikTok is gone.
Is it gone?
It's official. Yeah. So the Supreme Court ruled today that it's over with on the 19th.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yes, it's done. It's a
dude. Well, my account got hacked a week ago. My TikTok.
Oh yeah. Well, fuck that, man. Yeah.
So the first 20 minutes of clickbait yesterday, I was trying to fix it, and I can't fix it. I put in help tickets. Yeah. Somebody went in there. They changed all the stuff.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Probably. Yeah. Well,
I'm probably the only person who works in this space. Good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Most definitely.
Alleviates a small nuisance in my life.
So I'm sure it was probably a bunch of people that were in the back of the house and they knew that their jobs were on the line. They're like, fuck it, I'm not doing anything.
Right.
It was basically just a holiday schedule for them. They're like, I'm not worried about this Perna guy's support ticket. And so I'm about to be out of a job here in a week. You know what I mean?
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Most definitely. But it is what it is. But Perna, I appreciate you coming on, man. Best of luck to your Broncos, but not too much.
Yes,
obviously.
Same. Yeah, and if the Broncos lose, AFC, Bills are the team I'm pulling for. So
let's go.
Oh, my wife Jess Brain's channel. Well, she hasn't been uploading enough to really promote it, Cody.
Oh, oh, nice. When did she start it?
I don't know, like 2 years ago, on and off. It's like some BTS stuff sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, you have to go on ahead and just inspire her for more. You know what I mean?
I know.
But we'll see. We'll see. All right, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Dom Mafia Live. Perna, thank you again. Guys, go Bills. I'll be live sometime tomorrow to unpack a little bit more about the playoffs, but we love you. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.